Hello YouTube, I'm Madison Waltz, here to bring you a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for my favorite series, or one of my favorite card archetypes, Cloudians. I will try to keep the video short. Probably not gonna happen though. But yeah, let's begin. First up is 2 copies of Cloudian Smoke Ball. Let's see if this helps. Nope, that just makes that worse. Nope, that makes it worse. Yeah, sorry about the lighting. Not sure if that helps. Yeah, a cute card. I'll bring one of them up closer. The reason I'm tilting it downwards is to stop the glare. I don't turning down glare. Yeah, no, that just made the picture worse. Cute card. Very cute card. Yeah. I'm trying to read from this one because it's a little easier to see. It does have a little saying in its card text, but I'm not going to read it. Yeah, just one of my favorite cute cards, and I do have favorite cute cards. Next up is Cloudian Ghost Fog. 2 copies. Oh yeah, Cloudian Smoke Ball is a majority of the deck is going to be a mixture between fiends and fairies, because Cloudian's both fiend and fairy. So their attacks range from 0 to 3,000. You'll see what I mean by that soon. The Smoke Ball had 200 attack points, 600 defense points. This thing has 0 attack and defense points. The effect that this thing has basically says it can't be special summoned, and all battle damage either player takes involving this monster becomes 0. When it's destroyed by battle, distribute fog counters equal to the total level of monsters that destroyed it among face-up monsters. So basically, if you have 2 of them and they're both face-up, and your opponent destroys both of them, 2 fog counters, basically. This is basically how you get some fog counters. Next up is 1 copy of Cloudian Poison Cloud. This guy's attack point is 0. His defense points are 1,000. So he's level 4. The other 2 monsters were level 1 water type. The first one was a fiend. The second one was a fiend, Ghost Fog. First one was a fairy. This one is also a fiend. When this one is destroyed, though, it inflicts 800 points of damage to your opponent, so it's a good card. Next up is another fairy, level 3, light. 300 attack, 500 defense. Any damage calculation, if this card was attacked, and while it was face down, at the start of the damage, the attacking person takes 1,000 points of damage, and this card cannot be destroyed by battle. And it's Marshmallow. Another cute card. Also, people are annoyed by this thing, because the only way to get rid of it is by destroying it with an effect. So, yeah, very annoying card. That's why there's only one in the deck. Next up is Cloudian Turbulence. 800 attack, 0 defense. Water, level 4 fairy. Remember that, remember Smoke Ball? Here's the thing that summons it. From deck or grave, as long as you have fog counters to discard. Next up is 1 copy of Cloudian Storm Dragon. Water, level 4, fairy, 1,000 attack, 0 defense points. The reverse of Poison Cloud. This thing also gives, once per turn, you can place 1 fog counter on 1 monster on the field. And if this card is a face-up defense system, it's destroyed. Also, this card can only be special summoned by removing 1 fog counter or 1 Cloudian monster from your grave. So, for the price of 1 Cloudian from your grave, this thing comes out. Next up is Mundora. That's just how I pronounce the name, so don't hate me for it. This is actually an Earth level 4 fairy type monster. 1500 attack, 1800 defense. It gains 200 attack for every fairy type monster in your graveyard. So if you say have 3 fairies in grave, this thing has 3000 attack points. Yeah, it's a good card. I see why. I do see why it's only a good idea to run 1, because it could cloud up the deck too much, but not cloud up the deck, Cloudians. Oh, I just realized that joke. Anyway, moving on. Cloudian Acid Cloud. He's another fairy type. He's another level 4. He uses water. He has 500 attack, 0 defense points. He can't be destroyed by battle. When he's in face with the fence, he's destroyed. When he's normal summon, he places a fall counter on himself for each clouding monster on the field. I believe Turbulence has the same effect. Yeah, for every Cloudian that's on my field, they gain a fall counter. So if I have 2 face-up Cloudian monsters when he's normal summon, I get 2 fall counters, which allows me to, by discarding 2 fall counters, I can destroy 1 spell or trap card. And no, this is not a once per turn thing. This is basically by discarding the necessary counters. If I have 2 of them on the field, I can let's have 8, or at least 4 on him. Let's see. Let's say my opponent has 5 cards face down. So that's, for each one face down, that's 2, 4, 6. That takes care of 3. 4. I need 10 counters total. 10 counters. 11 if I want to include the field spell. Or no, 12 if I want to include the field spell. So 12 counters total just to wipe out my entire opponent's back row and field spell zone. Good card. Now, for a random card from the hand is 2 copies of Cloudian Altus. 1300 attack points. 0 defense. Fairy, level 4, water. Can't be destroyed by battle when he's normal summon. Basically the same thing as the last guy. Remove 3 counters from anywhere on the field. This guy removes from anywhere on the field. Discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. Good card. Now, for this thing that I cannot pronounce for the life of me except for the first part of it, basically in the normal place a fall counter for every monster, for every clouding monster that's on the field, so potentially 5 counters total, which means, and this is when he's normal summon, meaning that you can destroy up to 2 monsters on his field at one time. So if you want to wipe out his entire field, you have to have 10 counters on this thing. I'm just going to show you the one name, if I can. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that you can see the name. If you can somehow read that name. Yeah, okay, I can read the name from here, even backwards, because I'm staring at it backwards on my screen. But yeah, 900 attack, 0 defense. Another cute monster. Ability is fun, but yeah. Next up is Cloudian Nimbusman, which you should remember from the anime Yu-Gi-Oh! GX when Aster Phoenix, no, not Aster Phoenix, or Adrian Gecko faces Chaz Princeton. 1000 attack, 1000 defense. That doesn't really matter. Can't be destroyed by battle. If he's in defense mode, he's destroyed. And I contribute any number of water monsters on my side of the field. This card gains a counter for each water monster attributed, and it gains 500 for every counter on the field. So this thing can have over 10,000 attack points. Insanity. For revival effects and dealing 800 points of damage is a monster with 2,600 attack points, 800 defense points, level 7 light fairy monster. Each time a fairy type monster is summoned, it inflicts 600, sorry, which is the entry point. Once per turn, you can send one fairy type monster that you control, except for her, to the graveyard, and then special summon one fairy type monster from your graveyard, except for Athena, and special summon it. Yeah, Athena. That is that is my next card. I'm trying to keep the glare off as much as possible. Yeah, there we go, perfect. Yeah. Next up is actually one of my favorite decent looking fairy type, actually Cloudian Eye of the Typhoon is a level 8 water aqua effect type monster with 3,000 attack points, 1,000 defense points. He cannot be destroyed by battle, and if this card is in face of defense but destroyed, when this card declares an attack, change the battle position of all face-up monsters except for Cloudian monsters. Eye of the Typhoon can be a dick, as you can plainly see. If you wonder what fog counters are, it's basically counters, but for Cloudians. It's basically this is basically a weather deck, if you haven't gathered. But moving on to the spells. One copy of Double Summon. I'm not going to be explaining the effects for certain cards, because, well, I've already done so, or everyone knows what they... Double Summon. Yeah, it's as simple as that. It's basically... Okay, you know, it's basically an additional summon. It's basically an additional normal summon. Not a special summon, a normal summon. Next up is... Summon Cloud once per turn during your main phase. If you control no monsters whatsoever, you can special summon one level 4 Cloudian monster from either your hand or from another player's graveyard. And if you special summon a monster from the graveyard with this effect, destroy this card. Oh, from either player's graveyard. So basically, you get to special summon a free monster from either your hand or your grave. But if the grave comes with at the cost of this card. But that doesn't matter, because with Diamond Dust Cyclone, select one monster with 4 or more counters on the field, destroy it, and then draw one card for every 4 fog counters that were on it. This is basically your Pot of Greed on steroids. During the after effects of steroids, to be more specific. While going on to a new set of steroids. I just want... Sanctuary in the Sky. This basically says, if battles involving fairies, you take absolutely no damage. Including piercing. 2 salvages, because... Yeah, any water type monster with 1,500 attack points or less is out of your hand, and it's water monster, which 2 water monsters. So this is a good card to have, 2 of. Next up is Fog Control, and with a beefed up Poison Cloud on it. For those who don't know what Fog Control does, tribute 1 Cloudian monster you control. Place 3 fog counters on 1 face-up monster. So say you have the monster that I can pronounce worth of shit, and it has 7 counters on it. That basically gives it the 10 to wipe out my opponent's field. Monster field, anyway. And the card that basically places fog counters every standby phase, and that's all it does, is Cloudian Squall. Yeah, it's raining down weird blue things. Yeah, basically I just spread it. And it's to every monster. So every monster on the field gains a fall counter. Every standby phase. So if I have 2 of them, they gain 2. Every standby phase. So, next up is the trap cards. 1, Dark Bribe. For those that don't know what Dark Bribe does, basically your opponent you get to negate one of your opponent's spell card activations. Then your opponent draws 1 card. Also these, and the spell basically negates and destroys, but your opponent draws, which honestly isn't a bad thing. 1 Call of the Haunted, basically Monster Reborn. Button trap card version. And basically, if the monster or the card or this card leave the field, this thing goes. If this goes, the monster goes. If the monster goes, this goes. So, yay! Natural disaster! Which is actually kind of a bad thing for certain countries in memory of. But, this one inflicts 500 points of damage, each time card or cards that are controlled by my opponent's monster, and that are destroyed and sent to the graveyard due to the effect of a cloudian monster. So basically, if I destroy a trap card, or a spell card, or a monster card with a cloudian effect, my opponent takes 500 points of damage. Fun. 2 defense draws, for when you don't want to take any life points if you don't have your field spell, or a trap card that I'm missing, which I will explain at the end of the video. You take 0 damage, and then you get to draw 1 card. That's why I run 2. Next up is Updraft. Updraft, it removes all counters on the field. Then my opponent takes 300 points of damage for every one of them. So, 300 for each. That means, so let's say there are, basically, I could win the game in a matter of, let's see, if there's 2 counters on mine, 2, 6, 12, 15 on my side. 300 points. If I have 2 of these, I'm basically dishing out about 6,000 points of damage in 2 turns. If my opponent has 5 monsters on the field. But essentially, I could dish over 10,000 points of damage, depending on how many counters I remove. If I remove 56 counters, I am dealing over 1,300 points of damage, or 13,000 points of damage. Next up is Limit Reverse. Basically, this card is basically called the Haunted, but for monsters with 1,000 points or less. Same thing. If this trap card leaves the field, the monster goes with it. But if the monster goes, so is this trap card. Okay, now for the 3 cards that I'm missing, and yes, I do use Alliance sleeves from World of Warcraft. Along with Kaiba sleeves, with obviously Tormentor on them. I'm double sleeving this deck. The 3 cards: Cloudian Sheep Cloud. And then for the trap card, that's for the monster card. For the trap card, Spirit Bearer. As long as I have a monster on the field, I get to take no damage whatsoever. I forget Cloudian Sheep Cloud's effect, so I'm just quickly looking it up. Sorry. Sheep Cloud. Sheep Cloud is a water fairy effect monster, level 1, 0 attack and defense points. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon 2 cloudian tokens, fairy, water, level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense, basically the same thing as it. In defense position. These tokens cannot be tributed for a tribute summon unless it's for a cloudian monster. And I only run 1. But essentially, this deck does work even without those 3 cards. I prefer to have the 3 cards, and I will eventually get them. I may have to order them, but that doesn't really concern me in the slightest. I would like some suggestions for where I should what I should call the deck. Right now, I'm thinking of calling it Forecaster's Wrath. I'd like some opinions on it. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze there for a sec. Again, I'd like some opinions on it. Of what I should call it. Sorry about that. And on what your thoughts on the deck are. I did look up the deck build to let everyone know. And I liked the build. In my next video, I will I don't know when my next review is. I'm planning on reviewing Vampire Knight Fleeting Dreams when I finish it, because I'm on its last 2 short stories. No, there's 6 short stories. So I'm on its 4th. So I have 3 short stories left, basically 3 chapters. So it's a 6-chapter book, which I don't mind. I will be giving my thoughts on it at some point, basically when I finish it. I have no idea when that is. So I only got a couple days ago. I got it on Thursday. So I've only had it for 3 days, and I'm already halfway through the book. So yeah. Thanks for those who are watching my video, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, because I would appreciate it. And I'm saying Lotaro Gar, YouTube. Lotaro Gar.